Hey everybody, Kris Gethin here. Welcome to the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. I did have some notes for this episode, and I thought I'd front load the next episode, knowing that I've got some travel coming up. I'm going over to the UK for the Body Power Expo. I am also going to be visiting my family in Wales. I'll be having a couple of photo shoots. I've got to fly over to Ireland for a couple of meetings there. So I thought I'd front load. So let me make some notes and be prepared, because I'm always prepared. And I showed up unprepared. I forgot my notes at home. So I'm going a cappella on this one today. I thought, what can I talk about that's very simple, that's easy, that I know that I cannot screw up. I know my daily routine. A lot of people ask, okay, this is your advice, this is what you give me, but what do you do? No idea why you want to know that, but there's some things that I get up to that you probably don't want to know about me, so I won't go into too many details or you'll probably unsubscribe. But this is my daily routine. I am a creature of habit. I do like habit. I do like a schedule. I do like numbers. I do like discipline, and I love routine. One of the reasons why I'm not too keen on traveling is because it can take me out of my routine. I love the opportunity to go out to meet people and spread the good word of health, fitness, nutrition, and living a better life and transformation. However, there's a lot of baggage that goes with it. Ooh, speaking of which, I got to remember to get a suitcase this weekend. Remind me to get a suitcase. On my last trip, the wheels fell off. I only had that thing for about, I don't know, how long did I have that? 6 months? Yeah, 6 months, something like that. But, you know, I'm one of these guys that will pay like $19.99 on a hard shell suitcase, so it's probably my bad. But I've spent a lot of money on suitcases before, and they last just as long, so I'll have to go and find another one that I can abuse. Anyway, so with that travel in mind, I thought I'd be prepared, not prepared, so I've got these notes to give you my daily routine. And so here it is. Would you believe it? In the morning, I begin with waking up. What a surprise. So I wake up, but I wake up with a light and not an alarm. It's a clock. I think it's made by Philips, that just slowly lightens up the room. Now you can choose the color of the light that you have, whether it be white, blue, green, whatever. And with that, for about 15 minutes, it will slowly lighten up the room. And if you do not wake up within those 15 minutes, then alarm will set in. However, that alarm that I have it set on, you can have, I guess, trickling water, I think, a wave. I have birds chirping at a very low decibel. And I've only had to wake up to that once. The light generally wakes me up. And I love it. It's a very subtle form of light that wakes me up very slowly and peacefully. And so that gets my butt up, and then I go into the bathroom, and I'm very careful now not to switch on the lights in the bathroom. Sunshine is across, smiling at me now. Have you noticed that I've been putting a Himalayan salt lamp on? Yeah, okay, she's noticed. So I put on a Himalayan salt lamp. I want a very easy light on my eyes. I do not want my cortisol levels to spike the second that I wake up, which happens when you are exposed to the lights that the bulbs give out, or blue lights that a computer, a phone gives out. So I'm very particular about that. So I want to wake my eyes up slowly. So I will navigate myself around the bathroom, brush my teeth, put some skin lotion on my beautiful face after I've washed it, because I do wake up with a folded face, because I like to sleep on my back, but unfortunately I do have a snoring problem. So sunshine is always telling me to turn. So I have to turn onto my face to stop myself from snoring. So I wake up with folds in my forehead. So the first thing that I do is wash my face with a little disposable towel. That's organic. And then I'll massage cream into my face, trying to remove these darn folds out of my head that don't go parallel, they go diagonal. So it makes me look evil in the morning. I don't want to look like that. So anyway, and weirdly enough, I like to weigh myself. I am dieting down at the moment, so I just need to keep a close eye on my weight. I know it isn't a be-all or end-all, but I don't generally take my top off and look in a mirror. I'm not that guy. I will look at my myself maybe once every several weeks. So I just like to go by the weight, and I can pretty much gauge where I'm at there. Ooh, didn't put my phone on silent. How rude of me. And then I will go and wake up my girlfriend, Sunshine, with a little kiss. Not on the lips, so because her breath is smelling and she hasn't brushed her teeth at this point. I have, however, so the contrast is quite vast. So, a little kiss on the cheek, but this morning, ooh, she jumped a mile, because I was saying, Sybil, 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 but she wouldn't wake up. So I couldn't really see her, so I went to reach out and I put my hand on her face. She had earplugs in. I had no idea because of my snoring. So I scared the crap out of her. So her cortisol levels jumped up this morning, but I was okay. I'm all right. And then I'll head downstairs and I will have my usual concoction. I will, on an empty stomach, I like to take my probiotics. So I'll start with my probiotic supplementation. And then I'll take my Ferrodrox, my testosterone support matrix. Perfect time for me to actually take that supplement. Obviously as you get a little bit older, and if you have a decline in testosterone, which is very common amongst youngsters these days because of the exposure of microtoxins, estrogen, microtoxins in food, plastics, EMFs, etc. I could go on forever about this, and the stress and no sleep and blue light. Testosterone levels are low, so I like to maintain my testosterone levels by taking that first thing in the morning. Then I'll have my quote-unquote detox formulation. I will put together my apple cider vinegar, and I have about 30 ml. Then I'll have a serving of psyllium husk. I'll have a teaspoon of ginger, a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then I'll have about 30 ml of organic lemon juice. And then I'll have a serving of cage muscle fermented glutamine and hydrocharge, and some greens. I'll have a scoop of greens. I'll mix all that together. And then I knock that back. I wash that then down with some kefir, if we've got some kefir, because I'm cleaning myself of good bacteria and bad bacteria, a bit of both. So I like to get my good bacteria strain back in as soon as I've had all that. And then I'll have a teaspoon of my Manuka honey, which is antibacterial. And then I am basically either having a form of bulletproof coffee if I'm fasting, or I'll have what Naomi Whittle calls as autophagy, to help promote autophagy, cleaning our mitochondria, our DNA cells. So what that is made up of is green tea, organic green tea, and bergamot tea. I'll have a stick of cinnamon within that tea, and a teaspoon of MCT oil. And that is my autophagy. Then I'll drink about 1 liter of water with hydrocharged and branched chain amino acids. And if I'm training in the morning, I could be, like at the moment, I'm doing what's called like a controlled intermittent fast. So then I'll have my pre-caged, I'll let that sit for about 40 minutes before starting my workout. A lot of the time, I much prefer to train in the middle of the day. However, because of my work schedule, that doesn't always happen. Maybe I've got conference calls in a day. So I generally train first thing in the morning just to get it out of the way. Is it the perfect environment for me? No, my body isn't really warmed up. My joints feel a bit dry. I'm not able to hit any PBs or anything like that. So a lot of my workouts are based around volume, intensity, very short rest periods. And at the moment, I'm training about 7 days a week for about 40 minutes. So I'll make sure that I'm splitting up some of my muscle groups now, which I wouldn't before. Generally, I'd train quads, glutes, hamstrings, and calves together, which could take me about an hour and 15 minutes. I don't have that time to give up at the moment. My schedule's very busy, so I prefer to train for about 45 minutes now and train 7 days a week instead. That's more manageable for my routine and for my schedule. So, for instance, today I did quads. On Sunday, I'll do hamstrings and calves, you know. And then, you know, during that time, I'm having my in-caged during my workout, post-workout. Immediately after my workout is when I'll have my recage. That's my fast digesting protein. Obviously, I have a window of opportunity there where some people believe in it, some people don't. I certainly believe in it because I know how I feel if I don't take my protein straight after my workout. And, you know, try it yourself. For 30 days, don't have a post-workout protein, or for a week. And then the next week, have your post-workout protein. But it has to be a very, very fast digesting protein. That's why I have recage. Just to ensure that I do get that insulin spike. I don't have any carbohydrates, so I ensure that I'm getting optimized growth hormone release post-workout. And of course, I'm having my additional betaine, my glutamine, my fermented glutamine, my creatine, HCl, etc., to enhance that recovery. And then I will go and do my cardio. So I ensure that I have my shake first, then I'll do my cardio to promote the localization of that hydrolyzed protein to my localized area that I've destroyed in the gym, i.e. today was quads. And then I obviously want to work on my cardiovascular fitness and function, my lung capacity, the most important muscle in my body, my heart. So that's when I'll do my cardio. I like to do cardio on tired legs anyway. So for instance, let's say if I go in and smash legs, I like to maybe go for a 5-mile run after that, because that feels like it equates to an 8 or 10 mile run on fresh legs, and it gives me the opportunity to save my knees and my joints being a heavier person. And you know, I try to go off-road whenever I can. And in this beautiful weather, I've been spending time going down the green belt. Running down the green belt is absolutely beautiful, listening to the birds, and that is my form of meditation, active meditation. It's my opportunity to get in touch with myself, not touch myself, but in touch with myself, and listen to my breath, the sound of my feet, to ensure that I'm not flat-footed, I'm running with a good cadence, not making too much noise, make sure that I'm pivoting and keeping the sphere within my stomach balanced. And all of this helps me just shut out all the noise from the people, from the places, from the conference calls, from the emails, etc., etc. And then, you know, I'm normally home by around 8:30. Or, yeah, sometimes, I don't know, it depends how early that I train. It could be earlier than that. And then I will, you know, once I've come home, I will sometimes, dependent on that particular day in my schedule, I'll either have a sauna, my infrared sauna, which is a clear light sauna, in the morning, or I'll have it in the evening. So if it's in the morning, straight after my cardio, I get straight into the sauna, making sure that I'm hydrated the entire time with my HydroCharge, my fermented glutamine, and my BCAAs all mixed in one jug, just like I have it right here. And then I will have some essential oils in there that I can breathe in whilst I'm in the sauna. I'll generally do about 20-25 minutes. An infrared sauna does penetrate very deep, about 1.5 inches. So it's much different to a conventional wet sauna. And then I will usually have either a shower or a bath. If it's a bath, it's a magnesium bath. We are generally low in minerals. Everybody talks about making sure that you have enough vitamins in and antioxidants, which are all essential and important, but the majority of people are more deficient in minerals. Obviously, we want to stay away from heavy metals, but minerals such as, like I said, the magnesium, iron, people are generally lower on. The majority of the population are low in magnesium. So I'll have my magnesium bath. I ensure that in the shower, I have a filtered shower head to ensure that it does take away a lot of the contaminants. And if you're having a hot shower, generally your pores are going to be opened, and it's a perfect environment to absorb all of those impurities if you have contaminants in the water. That's why I have a filtered shower head. And then I'll have breakfast, my solid meal, if I'm not fasting. And that solid meal for the last week or so, maybe a little bit longer, I've either been having lamb's heart or beef heart, I should say. I'd have lamb's and beef liver, or sometimes I'll have turkey bacon. Sometimes it could be turkey itself, or some form of meat I've been going for recently in the morning for my breakfast, and I'll have that mixed with a lot of greens, maybe some avocado, could be some form of carbohydrates. I try not to mix up my fats and carbs too much, but I could have like half an avocado, a lot of greens, my sauerkrauts, my kimchi, which I'll have several times a day. day to ensure that I have my fermented produce. I am a big believer in fermentation, hence why I have fermented glutamine, fermented BCAAs in the supplement line. And I'll generally have my organically grown multivitamin. If it's the winter, I'll have vitamin D. In the summer, I don't really bother with vitamin D. I feel that I get enough from the sun. And vitamin C, again, vitamin C more so in the winter, a little bit lower, more maintenance levels in the summer. But it all comes down to how hard I'm training. If I'm training extremely hard during that time, putting my body under a lot of stress, then generally I'll go up with my vitamin C as well. And glutathione. I like to take glutathione year-round. During the day, then my work is starting. You know, I've generally, sometimes before I've even left for the gym, I'm probably punching through a lot of emails. And during the day, my work is considered the following. You know, it's emails, it's a lot of editing, it's a lot of writing, it's a lot of filming, conference calls, arranging travel, social engagement on each one of my platforms, doing live feeds. Normally I will work out of the kitchen or the dining room right next to the kitchen, funnily enough. We have an office upstairs. I don't use it. I like to be where all the action is, and that's the kitchen, baby. Maybe it's all about efficiency. I don't have to walk too far to prep my food, which comes out of a Nutrition Solutions container most of the time anyway. At this time, I do have an earthen mat. So I will either sleep on that earthen mat for a little while, or I could actually be at my office desk and I have the earthen mat underneath my feet. And on the same token, I'm going to get a little bit geeky and weird here. I do have some stickers, magnets on various devices, such as my computer, such as the microwave, such as my phone, that will help eliminate a lot of the EMF radiation that gets put out as well. A little bit weird like that. I ensure that I have the windows open all the time, whether it's winter or summer, to ensure that I'm getting plenty of fresh air. I don't want to have any mold toxins within my respiratory system that could be out there. They are there. You don't have to see them. Just like we know that love is in the air, but you don't have to see it. You just know it's there. And we also have a humidifier as well. And I have, when I'm drinking fluid throughout the day, I ensure that it's all filtered water. I have glutamine in there. The reason why I have glutamine in my gallon jug is that it is intestinal fuel. It's a very much underrated supplement. I have fermented glutamine because I honestly believe, and again, try this out yourself, that it really does help with my immune system. It helps with wound healing, like it's been proven in the studies, and they've utilized it in hospitals, how people after, say, a knife wound, and people after becoming a burn victim, how they heal so much faster and better than the people who do not receive the administration of glutamine. Okay, so what do we do in the gym? We wound ourselves all the time. But not only does it help with the recovery of that broken down muscle tissue that is sore, it, like I said, it has great effects on the gut health. And I believe, the majority of our immunity comes from our gut health. So I want to look after it, and it provides great integrity. If I happen to know that I'm going to go and travel, I will increase the load of my glutamine from maybe 20 to 30 grams, maybe a little bit more, several days before. Same with my vitamin C. I'll make sure that I'm prepared before I go to another country. If I'm going to be stuck on a plane with a lot of other people, where there could be viruses, it could be whatever's in the air, and I'm under stress, going through different time zones, not sleeping, whatever. So I make sure that I prepare in advance with that. Again, several times throughout the day when I'm eating, I will have the kimchi and sauerkraut on my food to ensure that I improve the bioavailability of the food that I'm eating. And that food is generally made up of grass-fed meats, humane raised poultry and eggs, locally grown whenever possible, non-GMO, free of mycotoxins. So generally try to eat as clean as possible throughout the day. And and then once I've finished my work, or I have to stop my work, I should say, because my work doesn't really finish, I'll do my early evening cardio session. I like to do cardio twice a day. It's very therapeutic. It's very important that I work my heart and my lungs and improve my health. So again, I try to go outside whenever I possibly can, but sometimes, okay, I'm trying to shred up. I'm seducing myself towards the Stairmaster by listening to podcasts, by watching educational videos, by listening to audiobooks, and time kind of gets away from me then. And then when I come home, I'll have, if I haven't had the bath in the morning, I'll have a bath in the evening, sometimes a shower, but majority of the time I try to have a magnesium and lavender bath. Now I'm making sure that the magnesium that I'm using is of a higher grade, and lavender is a natural lavender bath. I don't take anything that's artificial. All the cleaning products that I use, all the the baths, the soaps, everything is all completely natural. There's a lot of cancerogens in a lot of produce, a lot of acids, a lot of lacquers, a lot of cleaning ingredients that a lot of people are exposed to, especially females that are using various types of creams and makeups, etc. So I'm very careful of that. If I'm working late into the evening, I'm going to geek out on you again. I am wearing blue light blocking glasses that helps eliminate the exposure of that blue light, because I know as it's getting later into the evening, my cortisol levels can be activated because that fake light replicates the sunlight when we should be relaxing at this time. I'll try to use the natural light that's around now, Himalayan salt lamp when I go upstairs. Maybe it's candles while I'm having a bath. The supplements that I'll take in the evening would be something along the lines of like melatonin. I'll take like a sublingual melatonin, just like maybe 1 to 2 milligrams. 5-HTP, selenium. I'll take fish oil. Oh, actually, I take fish oil in the morning and at night. I'll take fish oils with a very high EPA and DHA, and I'll take krill oil as well. I'll take 2 of those types of oils together. In the evening, for about an hour before going to bed, I try to switch off the Wi-Fi, phones on airplane mode, and I like to try to read. I'll try to go to bed between 9:30 p.m. and I'll read for 30, 45 minutes, lying on my earthing mat. And that is pretty much it. The majority of my day is taken up just working at a computer. I do not have an active lifestyle other than the workouts and my cardio sessions. But a lot of what I do is interaction, education, through videos, through editing, through the articles that we put out. I put columns in several magazines. We have newsletters on the Cage Muscle website that goes out several times a week. There's a lot of moving parts when you combine that with the conference calls, and I'm not going to go into those details for you anyway. But there's other kooky things that I like to do that I don't really talk about. I've got a lymphatic brush now, and I'll brush towards my lymph nodes because I learned all this when I was in college many years ago, and I kind of like it because. Try this, guys. Try this. I'm talking to you guys as well. If you put skin cream on your body, you will notice that maybe it takes a while for it to soak up. However, if you use a lymphatic brush, or you could use any sort of brush, but a lymphatic brush, and then put that skin cream on, you'll notice that cream absorbs very quick. So it goes to show that it is removing a lot of the dead cells there. And it helps with your circulation. I'm all about increasing my circulation all the time. That's why you'll generally see me doing cardio twice a day, taking citrulline, pure citrulline, because I know that really enhances my recovery. If I do cardio twice a day, I recover and I can train 7 days a week. If I don't, I find it a lot harder because the transportation of oxygen, nutrients via the blood into the muscles isn't as readily transported, so the recovery is down. As weird as that sounds, a lot of people think, okay, no cardio, I can't recover. However, I'm not trying to step on an NPC qualifier show, or I'm not trying to step on the Mr. Olympia. It's a little bit different for those guys. I am generally bigger than the average person, but I'm not about to turn pro in the NPC anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? So, it works for somebody around my sort of size. double cardios, going for runs. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for somebody that's trying to hold on to 250 pounds. And, I'll do a few things every now and again, maybe once every, several months or, dependent how I'm feeling at that time. Like this week, I went for a colonic hydrotherapy session. And whilst I was having my colonic hydrotherapy, I was on a biomat. I had an infrared light on my stomach, and it was a good time. So, things like that, you may think is a little bit odd, it's a little bit weird, there's no research that backs that up. However, I do these things based on my own experience as well as my research. If I research something and everything connects, the dots connect, and I feel that it should work, but I try it and it doesn't make me feel good, or I don't feel any different, I'm not going to follow through. However, if it makes me feel so much better, cleaner, more focused, lighter, less bloated, I'm going to do a colonic hydrotherapy every now and again if I'm feeling a bit bad, a little bit down, a little bit bloated, just a little bit slow, sluggish. I'll go get that done, and generally I feel like $1 million better after. Like as soon as I had this done the other day, we went for like a 5-mile run, and I felt great. I felt awesome. I felt 10 pounds lighter. And Sunshine sat over across here. Ooh, she's shaking her head. She knows where we're going with this conversation. She is about to have her very first colonic hydrotherapy in about an hour's time. I talked her into it. I was like, oh, you're going to love it. Just make sure you take the therapist some flowers and look him in the eye. That's what I do. But I think she will like this because she said, the last couple of days I've been bloated. I don't know if it's my period. I don't know if it's a gluten intolerance. I don't know if it's the dairy. Well, you haven't had any dairy. No. So who knows? But I said, look, just give this a shot. If you don't go, you'll never know. You may not talk to me ever again. You may walk funny when you come out. But hey, you just got to lower your heart rate, relax, and let it happen, and invite good, positive vibes. And water, and a lot of water. Anyway, that is it for today. That is my Knowledge and Mileage podcast. I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for this. Hopefully, a little bit of my routine has kept you going while you're on your Stairmaster, while you're doing your cardio. Hopefully, I've helped you get through another mind-numbing cardio session, or this has given you something that you will want to share and subscribe for yourself. Thank you very much for your support, guys. I will be back next week, prepared for the next episode of the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. Peace.